The Indian judiciary has been rocked by a possible corruption scandal, an issue that's long been discussed but also long been ignored. A judge in the Delhi High Court finds himself in the centre of this debate. He's no longer with the Delhi High Court but has been transferred to the Allahabad High Court. Why? Because piles of cash were found at his residence, cash which so far has been unaccounted for but was found in the judge's residence. This is Judge Yashwant Verma. You won't believe the sheer twist of fate that led to these cash piles in his house being discovered. So a fire purportedly broke out at his residence in Delhi and the judge was travelling. So his family promptly called the fire brigade and police. Now, once the fire was doused, the authorities on ground were stunned because what they found is piles of cash lying all around the house. This is in rooms of the bungalow. Now, where did this cash come from? Why was hard cash lying around the residence? Who does it belong to? We have no answers right now because there's only an in-house investigation in the matter. So because it's a sitting judge, there can be no police probe or any agency investigation. For now, the action taken against him is that he's been transferred to the Allahabad High Court. Despite the gravity of the charges, let's maintain here that it's an accusation, but still, looking at the gravity of that, this is the only action that's been taken against him. But mind you, that is always the case. And I'll explain that to you in a while of what is the process that's followed. So now there's a growing demand also for reform in the judiciary, that merely a collegium cannot decide what happens to their own colleagues. Let's get you some of these reactions.
Transfer is a normal thing. This is not a stigma. And it is appropriate when such allegations, I am not admitting that there can be any situation of corruption, because I feel sometimes some people who are not getting favorable result, they may also plant. And here I feel when the judge was himself not there, family members were not there, and such thing happens, fire happens, and then video being made, I feel there is some suspicion, and the collegium of the Supreme Court should make thorough inquiry.
The way our system is structured is that the judiciary self-regulates itself. So it's really incumbent upon the Chief Justice and the collegium to take appropriate action only after due process and formal inquiry. So I really don't know the facts of the case beyond what's being reported in the paper, but I'm sure the senior judicial minds of this country will follow a process and then act on it.
Certainly, the issue of corruption within the judiciary is a very serious issue, and this is not something that has been articulated by senior counsel and lawyers in this country for the first time. It's been going on for years, and public statements have been made. So I think that it's time for the Supreme Court to start looking at issues of how the appointment process should take place, that it should be more transparent.
So the judiciary self-regulating the judiciary, which has always been the case because that's the due process that's followed usually. Now, even the Bar Association of the Allahabad High Court has questioned why Justice Verma has only faced a transfer. They say more action should be taken. Remember, the Allahabad High Court is his parent court, which is why he's been transferred back there from the Delhi High Court.
एक सामान्य कर्मचारी के घर पे 15 लाख रुपया मिलता है तो उसको जेल भेजते हैं। एक जज के घर पे 15 करोड़ रुपया कैश मिल रहा है, उसको घर वापसी का इनाम दिया जा रहा है। क्या हाईकोर्ट, इलाहाबाद हाईकोर्ट क्या डस्टबिन है, कचरा बिन है? करप्शन के खिलाफ हाईकोर्ट बार बिल्कुल स्ट्रांग फुटिंग पे खड़ा है। हम उसका स्वागत यहां नहीं होने देंगे। उनका ज्वाइनिंग अगर होती है, वी विल साइन डाई द हाईकोर्ट, लॉयर्स विल एब्सटेन फ्रॉम वर्क।
So let's tell you all about this High Court judge, Justice Yashwant Verma, how long he's been a judge in the Delhi High Court, etc. It was in 2006 that Justice Verma was elevated as the special counsel for the Allahabad High Court. And for a year in 2013, he was the chief standing counsel for the UP government. In 2014, he was elevated as additional judge. 4 years ago, 2021, he was transferred to the Delhi High Court as a judge. And now, of course, with the cash stash found, he's been sent back to his parent court, the Allahabad High Court. And let's talk about some of the verdicts that Justice Verma has given, and some of these may stand out to you as those you know as well. The Unnao rape convict as well, Kuldeep Sengar, we all know of him. In February 2025, so just last month, he was granted bail on medical grounds for a medical procedure. You had Justice Verma on that particular bench. And then in May 2024, a bench led by Justice Verma again set aside an order in favor of Kalanidhi Maran in a SpiceJet dispute. This was in fact an arbitrary panel discussion in which this decision was set aside. Now again in March 2024, Congress had filed a plea before the Delhi High Court against the income tax reassessment proceedings. That plea was dismissed by in fact a bench led by also Justice Verma. November 2022, the CBI and ED were asked to go ahead and give all press notes, all communiques that they had sent out on the Delhi liquor scam based on a petition that was filed by Vijay Nair, who's one of the accused in this case of liquor scam. September 2022, Subramanian Swamy was told to hand over his Delhi bungalow in 6 weeks. Another case, another hearing in fact, that was taken up by Justice Verma. Justice Verma also ruled in September 2022 on the Shibu Soren case. The Lokpal proceedings against Shibu Soren were stayed by Justice Verma. In the same month of September 2022, details of sanction for prosecution under UAPA, according to Justice Verma, was exempt from the RTI. A petition was filed on this for documents, etc. With regards to sanction for prosecution under UAPA, it's exempt from the RTI is what Justice Verma ruled. So these were a series of court rulings that he's given. This is, remember, during his tenure in the Delhi High Court as a judge. Let's get you breaking news that's coming in now. Okay, the first official statement is just in from the Supreme Court right now on this entire controversy surrounding Justice Verma. The Supreme Court has said that the Delhi High Court Chief Justice commenced the enquiry first, that the Delhi High Court Chief Justice took that first step of an enquiry. The Chief Justice of the Delhi High Court will submit a report to the CJI by today. That's the due process that's usually followed, that the Chief Justice of the respective court hands over a report first. This report is going to be submitted by tonight to the CJI. It will be examined and then processed for further action. The transfer proposal, and this is something the Supreme Court has said, the transfer of the judge from the Delhi High Court to the Allahabad High Court is independent and separate from the in-house inquiry procedure. So they're making it very clear that the transfer is the first step. Then you will have an inquiry procedure as well. The proposal has been examined by the collegium. The transfer proposal has also been communicated to Justice Verma. It's also been communicated to the Chief Justices of both the High Courts here, the Delhi High Court and the Allahabad High Court. So important updates that are coming in this first communication that's coming from the Supreme Court. Let me bring in our legal correspondent, Srishti Oja, to kind of break down the takeaways from what we've just put out on our screens. Srishti, first communication from the Supreme Court on the due process, the procedure that will be followed now in the inquiry into Justice Verma. They're saying the transfer, yes, is one step, but the in-house inquiry is completely independent of that.
Well, yes, Akshita, this is the first official communication which is coming from Supreme Court today in this regard. Now, several clarifications in the court in its communication has itself acknowledged that there's some misinformation that's doing round with regard to this entire issue. Firstly, the court has said that it was a Delhi High Court Chief Justice which commenced the inquiry before the collegium meeting even happened on 28th March. The court has said that the Chief Justice of the Delhi High Court will be sending a preliminary report, which the CJI had sought by today. Now, after that report is examined and processed, further and necessary action will be taken by the Supreme Court and the collegium. Another thing that the court has clarified is that this proposal for transfer which has been made is independent and separate from the entire in-house inquiry procedure. The clarity which has come in is basically that the Supreme Court as of now has not recommended officially his transfer. They've only laid out a proposal. A letter communicating such proposal has been sent to the concerned judge, Justice Yashwant Verma, and also to the concerned high courts, being the Delhi High Court and the Allahabad High Court. Once they respond, once their responses come in to the collegium, they will again consider this particular transfer proposal and a resolution will then be passed accordingly. What we also understand from this is, Akshata, that the court has pointed out that Justice Yashwant Verma is the second senior most judge as far as Delhi High Court is concerned. But when he's transferred to Allahabad High Court, he'll be the 9th in seniority. And that has also been a consideration while proposing his transfer. Back to you.
Okay, important message there being sent across, that from the second highest position in the Delhi High Court to the 9th senior most in the Allahabad High Court. Thanks very much, Srishti, for joining us with those details. The Supreme Court making it clear that an in-house inquiry will take place. But first, the transfer step has been taken and it's been approved by the entire collegium. All right, let's talk about really what is the process. When these kind of allegations are leveled against a judge, what is the step that's followed? Like I said, it's a very clearly laid out process. The CGI-led collegium first takes note, recommends the transfer of the judge, which has happened in this case as well. The collegium then seeks a report from the Chief Justice of the respective court. In this case, it's the Delhi High Court. As we just told you, the collegium has sought that report. The Delhi High Court Chief Justice will be submitting that report by tonight. An in-house inquiry will be set up by the collegium if the need arises. In this case, we will see, of course, that happening. The accused judge is also given a chance to give details or his version of events. So in this case also, the Judge Verma will be allowed to put forth why he had that cash in his residence or who it belongs to. Now, after that, if the collegium doesn't really or isn't really convinced by the statement that's coming from the accused judge, if the CGI feels there's misconduct, the High Court judge can be asked to resign. But what happens if the judge says, no, I will not resign? The CGI then can go ahead and ask the government to initiate removal process in Parliament. We use the word impeachment. Constitutionally not really referred to as impeachment, but essentially this process is that. It's about impeachment. The judge can then be impeached by a motion that's passed in Parliament. So this is the process that's usually followed. But there are also some challenges with this particular process, which has again become a big talking point. First is the fact that the only recourse to deal with an errant judge or an accused judge is impeachment via Parliament, which is also a political step in a sense. So you need to ensure consensus, and we'll talk about that in a bit. The second reason also that they've been saying that, look, maybe we should be rethinking this way is because there are only two ways that a judge can be removed, only two grounds: proven misbehavior or incapacity. It's only on these two grounds that a judge can be removed. And the third, which I was referring to, is that standard for the impeachment, the bar for impeachment is right up there. And that's because once it reaches Parliament, after that entire process that I told you about, then too, you need to build political consensus, which we see, of course, in Parliament is needed for any motion to be passed, both in the Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. Have we seen this kind of a case before? Have we seen these kind of allegations against judges cropping up? 100%. India has seen many such cases. So I want to run you through some of these cases, what happened in them as well. What was the action that was taken? In 1976, Justice K. Veeraswamy, a charge sheet based on a complaint was filed against him. He was then the Chief Justice of the Madras High Court. Now, the charge sheet mentioned that the judge had accumulated disproportionate assets by means of Benami transactions. So CBI actually filed a disproportionate assets case against him in February 1976, following it up with a charge sheet the next year in 1977, by which time he had retired. But Justice Veeraswamy chose to challenge the action in the High Court. And in a 1991 hearing, this issue dragged on for quite some time. The Supreme Court held no FIR can be filed without a sitting judge, against a sitting judge without the CGI's approval. Now let's talk about the other case. Justice Soumitra Sen, found guilty of misappropriating over 33 lakhs. He was actually impeached by the Rajya Sabha but resigned days before the Lok Sabha was scheduled to discuss the motion. So the proceedings lapsed because Justice Sen had resigned. Let's tell you about another incident. That was in 1983, by the way. 1992, Justice V. Ramaswamy, who was then a Supreme Court judge, was accused of financial impropriety. The impeachment proceedings were initiated against him in 1993, the next year, on grounds of financial impropriety. The judge had actually put out a legal defense. He was defended, interestingly, by Kapil Sibal before a joint sitting of Parliament. So the motion, the impeachment motion, fell through. It failed. Justice Ramaswamy, therefore, didn't face impeachment. He retired a year later. Now, in 2003, you had another case. This was Justice Shamit Mukherjee. Interestingly, here the CBI did take action, but mind you, it was after he had, in fact, moved on from that role of Delhi High Court judge. So once he was ex-Delhi High Court judge, that's when, in fact, the CBI took him into custody for his alleged involvement in a land scam under the Prevention of Corruption Act. Now, 2011, Justice P.D. Dinakaran, Chief Justice of the Sikkim High Court, against whom the Rajya Sabha chairman had actually set up a judicial panel to look into allegations of corruption, resigned. He stepped down in July 2011, just before impeachment proceedings could be initiated against him. So more often than not, these judges are given an opportunity to step down voluntarily. If they choose not to do so, that's when it comes up in Parliament, and that's when impeachment proceedings actually kick off. But the step of resignation itself is offered to them only once the probe, the in-house inquiry, is done by the Collegium, by the Supreme Court. Now, this entire saga has again led to questions on whether the judiciary should really be the judge of the judiciary. The government cannot intervene on this, and there's been a growing chorus for reform also in how this happens. The central government, and this is what sources have told us, the centre is reportedly waiting for the Supreme Court's action in this particular case of cash being found at the residence of Justice Yashwant Verma. Sources have told us that the government is waiting for due process to be followed, to be played out. So if recommended impeachment motion, then this can be brought up against Justice Verma in Parliament. So this is the process. In this case, the government really cannot do much, which is why you've been seeing also the BJP going to social media, questioning whether a mere transfer is enough. So there is already this discourse that's playing out. But amid that, sources have told us very clearly that the central government is going to essentially adopt a wait-and-watch policy to see what really happens in this particular case in the Collegium in-house inquiry, and then they will figure out what are the next few steps. The only point in which actually this comes up for politicians, for ministers to discuss is directly in Parliament, when a motion is brought in, the impeachment motion that I referred to, in which case both Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha will have to pass that motion for a judge to be dismissed, for him to be impeached. All right, we will track all the latest updates that come in on that, particularly the in-house inquiry that could happen against Justice Verma. Drama playing out in the Karnataka Assembly as 18 BJP MLAs have been suspended for a duration of 6 months for heckling the Karnataka Speaker in the Vidhan Sauda. And the showdown now escalating as the BJP MLAs have said that they will go ahead and not be a part of the rest of the session unless the suspension is revoked. BJP MLAs are now headed to, in fact, the Raj Bhavan to file an official complaint with the governor, questioning why 18 of their MLAs have been suspended. So a non-stop drama that's playing out on your screens are the images that came in just about an hour ago of the 18 BJP MLAs who were suspended being carried out of the assembly. And that's because they refused to get out on their own. So they were literally marshalled out. Nagarjun Dwarkanath is reporting live from the Vidhan Sauda in Bengaluru. Unprecedented scenes playing out at the Karnataka Assembly. 18 BJP MLAs suspended, and then they're carried out, dramatically enough, from the Karnataka Assembly premises. We understand that BJP is now going to file a complaint with the governor.
Already Shobha Karandaje also has written to the governor on the 4% reservation, and also the Karnataka State Unit and leader of opposition also said that the Raj Bhavan and the governor the doors of the Raj Bhavan would be knocked and the governor would be apprised as to what is happening within the assembly here, and the 4% bill was passed amidst the ruckus, and they would also urge the governor not to give a consent also or assent also. Joining me now is the BJP legislator, Mr. Bharat Shetty, who was also escorted by the marshals away from the assembly. 4% bill was passed both in upper house and the lower house amidst the ruckus. You were a part of it. Congress is saying that it includes all minorities, not just Muslims, but also Jains, Sikhs, Christians as well.
See, the 2B category is exclusively for Muslims. They've got this reservation for Muslims only. And it is going to infringe on the rights of the SC/ST reservation also here. When it comes to this reservation based on religion, it is unconstitutional and illegal also. It won't stand the scrutiny of law. They know, the Chief Minister himself knows that it won't stand the scrutiny of law. It will be struck down somewhere. just to appease the Muslims, just to appease his vote banks, he is doing this.
And also you were suspended for, along with your 17 other MLAs for 6 months. How do you see this?
See, we are fighting for the for the democracy only. They are trying to see to that our voice is not heard. When it came to the issue of the honey trap scheme, they are not allowing us to talk about it. We are asking for a judicial inquiry. We don't have any confidence in any police officer who gets up early in the morning and salutes the chief minister. Can't do this. Can't do a fair and proper investigation into this. We are asking for a sitting judge of the High Court to do this inquiry. But the government yesterday they were very positive about the inquiry, and today they have become very defensive, they were backtracking on what they said yesterday. Looks like if the truth comes out, the state government of Karnataka, the Congress state government of Karnataka might fall off or roll off also. So I feel the High Command of Congress have told them to shut this matter up. They have a chance to put the case and start with the investigation, but they have not done so, saying that we have not yet received a written complaint. In the open house, on the floor of the house, a Dalit minister comes out in the open and says that, come to my rescue. Honey trap has been tried on me. Please come to my rescue. And no one is going to his rescue. The Chief Minister, Ms. Sidramaya, who claims to be the champion of SCSTs and backward classes, has his mum on this. He knows the government might fall if the truth comes out. So they are backtracking and they are trying to hush the matter up.
And also, not just the honey trap, the 4% bill, the speaker says that you guys tore up the bill, threw it on the chair and disrespected the chair.
We did tear up the bill because we were not let to talk. We are not allowed to discuss. We asked the Chief Minister and the Speaker to hear us out. Let's have a discussion on the topic, the honey trap thing as well as the reservation bill. They were not ready to talk about it. They were trying to bulldoze into every bill they get. They try to bulldoze us. So we had to get into the well of the house, and all these things happened. And one more point is 18 of the BJP MLAs have suspended for tearing up all these papers and all. But the same 2 Congress MLAs have also seen tearing up. You might have visuals also.
Okay, so the BJP questioning there. Nagarjun, thanks very much for those details. The BJP questioning there, saying there were 2 Congress MLAs also who were tearing up papers. There's no action against them. Let's get you all the other political reactions that have come in. These are Congress as well as some of the suspended BJP MLAs speaking to us.
You have seen 18 MLAs of the BJP have been suspended. They're saying we have been fighting for Dalit issues and hence we have been suspended, is what the BJP MLAs are saying.
I am the devotee of the Baba Saheb Ambedkar. I can proudly say I am the devotee of Baba Saheb Ambedkar. They simply, BJP people, they are creating disturbance in the assembly. So they thrown papers and books in front of the speaker chair and on CM. So Speaker has suspended 18 MLAs for a span of 6 months. What's wrong in it? Speaker has done a fantastic job. It sends a strong message to the country. Speaker is supreme in assembly, no one else. Whether it is BJP or any other party, no one is supreme in assembly. Speaker is a supreme in assembly.
They are saying that 6 months is taking it a bit too far. Would you reconsider, because there's another monsoon session in the 3 months now?
No, why should we reconsider? We strongly oppose. Sir, if the BJP MLAs, 18 MLAs, that disrespect the Speaker, how do you excuse them? So, I don't think so they reconsider. Speaker stand by the decision.
असेंबली का शुरू होने का पहले अनाउंस करना पड़ा था कौन सा तरह वो इंक्वायरी दे रहा है, सीबीआई को दे रहा है, नहीं तो सीओडी के दे रहा है. बिना अनाउंस करके सादा सीधा मुख्यमंत्री को बजट का ऊपर में रिप्लाई देने के लिए सभापति बोल दिया है. सो इसका इरादा क्या है? वो छुपाने के लिए, वो हनी ट्रैप का क्लोज करने के लिए उनका इरादा है. इसलिए इंक्वायरी पहले अनाउंस करो. वो नहीं माना है. वो स्पीकर भी पहले वो एमएलए था, विधायक था, वो टाइम में ऐसा हंगामा करके 2 बार वो भी सस्पेंड हुआ था.
So let's tell you exactly what transpired in the Karnataka Assembly that led to MLAs being taken out of the House in this manner, being carried out by marshals. A few hours ago in the morning, there was a war of words between the BJP and Congress that went completely out of hand. So much so that a handful of BJP MLAs stormed into the well of the House, started tearing papers, throwing it at the Speaker's chair, tried to climb into the Speaker's chair, reportedly hurled books at Chief Minister Sidramaya. Let's get you some of those scenes.
ವಿಧೇಯಕವನ್ನು ಮಂಡಿಸುತ್ತಿದ್ದೇನೆ.
BJP MLAs carried out by marshals. BJP MLAs storm into well of the House. BJP MLAs climb Speaker's chair. BJP MLAs tear papers, books, throw it on Speaker's face. Marshals called in to remove protesting BJP MLAs. MLAs surround CM Siddaramaiah in house. These were the scenes witnessed in Karnataka Assembly on Friday morning. Moments after discussion over the honey trap scandal, the Karnataka Assembly turned into a battlefield. The BJP MLAs stormed into the well of the House even as the Speaker read out the next bill to be discussed. 18 BJP MLAs who now stand suspended mistook the finance bill for quota bill in Assembly, which led to ruckus. BJP MLAs, however, slammed the Siddaramaiah government, demanding an answer over honey trap case in the Assembly, and accused the Congress MLAs of tearing books and copies of bill inside Assembly.
When the bill was taken up for voting, BJP created a ruckus because you don't want category 2B to be included in the reservation for small contracts.
He has forgotten all other backward class community. So Bharatiya Janata Party, we oppose the injustice given to the Hindus in Karnataka.
As per the provisions of the bill, Muslim contractors will receive a 4% quota in government tenders, enabling them to compete for public contracts more effectively. With Nagarjun Dwarkanath, Bureau Report, India Today.
Okay, we will get you those details in just a bit, also of the latest that's transpired in the Karnataka Assembly, where again we've seen, in fact, a protest playing out. BJP MLAs once again throw papers in protest inside the Karnataka Assembly and even using shawls to protest. This even as the minority quota bill was passed in the Karnataka Assembly. With 18 of their MLAs suspended, the BJP continued their protest inside the Assembly, going ahead and using their shawls to protest, throwing papers in the Assembly. It was exactly over this that 18 of their MLAs were suspended. So the showdown continuing right now within the Assembly as the quota bill, which allows for a quota really in government tenders for minority communities. As that was passed, you had BJP MLAs protesting against the suspension of their colleagues and also over this entire issue of the bill being passed by once again throwing papers in the air in the Assembly and also going ahead and using their shawls to protest. Now, let's tell you also about the honey trap scandal that's rocked Karnataka. 18 BJP MLAs, of course, were thrown out from the Vidhan Sauda. But this comes a day after Minister K.N. Rajanna claimed to have been targeted in a honey trap attempt. Chief Minister Siddaramaiah has assured there will be an impartial probe into the matter and said that nobody will be spared, but also reiterated that whoever's been honey-trapped, their names will not be revealed. BJP, meanwhile, is pushing for action for a CBI investigation to be ordered in this particular case.
ಹನಿ ಟ್ರ್ಯಾಪ್ ಆಗಿದೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಗೃಹ ಸಚಿವರು ಉತ್ತರ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಈಗಾಗಲೇ ಗೃಹ ಸಚಿವರು ಸದನದಲ್ಲಿದ್ದರು, ಅವರು ಉತ್ತರ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಈ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಉನ್ನತ ಮಟ್ಟದ ತನಿಖೆಯನ್ನ ಮಾಡಿಸ್ತೇವೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾರನ್ನು ರಕ್ಷಣೆ ಮಾಡತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆ ಆಗಲಿ ಅಥವಾ ಯಾರ್ದಾರು ಹಕ್ಕುಚ್ಯುತಿ ಮಾಡತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದಾಗಲಿ, ಯಾರಿಗೂ ರಕ್ಷಣೆ ಕೊಡದೇ ಇರತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದಾಗಲಿ, ಆ ಕಡೆ ಎಂಎಲ್ಎಗಳಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಈ ಕಡೆ ಎಂಎಲ್ಎಗಳಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಜೆಡಿಎಸ್ನವರು ಇರ್ಬೋದು, ಇಂಡಿಪೆಂಡೆನ್ಸ್ ಇರ್ಬೋದು, ಯಾರಿಗೂ ರಕ್ಷಣೆ ಕೊಡಬೇಕಾಗಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದು ಸರ್ಕಾರದ ಜವಾಬ್ದಾರಿ. ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಅಲ್ಲ, ನಾಗರಿಕರಿಗೂ ರಕ್ಷಣೆ ಕೊಡಬೇಕು. ಯಾರೇ ಕಾನೂನನ್ನ ಉಲ್ಲಂಘನೆ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು ಕೂಡ ಅವರಿಗೆ ಶಿಕ್ಷೆ ಆಗಲೇಬೇಕು, ಕಾನೂನು ರೀತಿಯ ಕ್ರಮ ಆಗಲೇಬೇಕು. ಈ ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆ ಉದ್ಭವ ಆಗಬೇಕಾದಂತ ಅಗತ್ಯ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಯಾರಿಗೂ ರಕ್ಷಣೆ ಮಾಡಲ್ಲ. ಯಾರಾದರೂ ಇರಲಿ, ನಮ್ಮ ಪಾರ್ಟಿಯವರಾರು ಇರಲಿ, ನಿಮ್ಮ ಪಾರ್ಟಿಯವರಾರು ಇರಲಿ, ಅಥವಾ ಇನ್ಯಾವುದಾದ್ರು ಪಾರ್ಟಿಯವರಾರು ಇರಲಿ, ಯಾರೇ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು ತಪ್ಪೆ. ಸದನದಲ್ಲಿ ಒಬ್ಬ ಸಚಿವ ಈ ತರ ಹೇಳಿದಾಗ ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ಇರಕ್ಕಾಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ನಾವು 100% ತನಿಖೆ ಮಾಡಿಸ್ತೇವೆ.
ನಿನ್ನೆ ದಿವಸ ಸದನದಲ್ಲಿ ಬಹಳ ಗಂಭೀರವಾದಂತ ವಿಚಾರವನ್ನ ಪ್ರಸ್ತಾಪ ಬಸವರಾಜ್ ಅವರು ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು, ಮತ್ತೆ ಸುನೀಲ್ ಅವರು ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು. ಮಾನ್ಯ ರಾಜಣ್ಣ ಅವರು ಹೌದು ನನ್ನ ಮೇಲೆ ಇಂಥದ್ದೊಂದು ಪ್ರಯತ್ನ ನಡೆದಿದೆ ಅಂತೇಳಿ ಅವರು ಪ್ರಸ್ತಾಪ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು. ಮಾತನಾಡುವಾಗ ಅವರು ಹೇಳಿದ್ದು, ಇನ್ನೂ ಆ ಪಕ್ಷದ ಆ ಭಾಗದಲ್ಲಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಸದಸ್ಯರುಗಳು ಮತ್ತು ದೆಹಲಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಕೂಡ ಅನೇಕ ಜನರು ಈ ರೀತಿ ಒಳಗಾಗಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅಂತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಒಂದು ಮಾತನ್ನ, ಅದೇ ಹನಿ ಟ್ರ್ಯಾಪ್ ಅಂತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಹನಿ ಟ್ರ್ಯಾಪ್.
ಅವ್ರು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬರ್ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ನಿಮ್ ಚೇಂಬರ್ ಇಂದ ಮುಂಚೆ ಬಂದ್ರು ಅಂತ ನನಗೆ ಮೆಸೇಜ್
ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಮುಂಚಿತವಾಗಿ ನನ್ನ ಜೊತೆ ಮಾತಾಡಿದ್ರು.
ಸರಿ, ವೆರಿ ಗುಡ್.
ಅವ್ರೇನ್ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು ಅಂದ್ರೆ,
ಅಲ್ಲೇನ್ ಮಾತಾಡಿರ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ,
ನಾನು ಕಂಪ್ಲೇಂಟ್ ಕೊಡ್ತೇನೆ, ಇದಕ್ಕೊಂದು ತನಿಖೆ ಮಾಡಿಸಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು. ಅವ್ರು ಇನ್ನೂವರೆಗೆ ಕಂಪ್ಲೇಂಟ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿಲ್ಲ ಮಾನ್ಯ ಅಧ್ಯಕ್ಷರೇ.
ಯಾರು ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು ರಕ್ಷಣೆ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ? ಪೊಲೀಸ್ ಸ್ಟೇಷನ್ ಕಂಪ್ಲೇಂಟ್ ಕೊಡ್ಲಿ. ಹನಿ ಟ್ರ್ಯಾಪ್ ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ಯಾರು ನಿಮ್ಮ ಹತ್ರ ಬಂದ್ಬಿಡ್ತಾರ? ನೀವು ಹಲೋ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಹಲೋ ಅಂತಾರೆ, ನೀವು ಹಲೋ ಅಲ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಯಾರು ಹಲೋ ಅಂತಾರ? ನೀವು ಮಾತಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾನು ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ, ನೀವು ಮಾತಾಡಿಲ್ಲ ನಾನು ಮಾತಾಡ್ತೀನ? ನೀವು ವಿಶ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ನಾನು ವಿಶ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ, ನೀವು ವಿಶ್ ಮಾಡಿಲ್ಲ ನಾನು ವಿಶ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನ?
ನನ್ನ ಜವಾಬ್ದಾರಿ ಇದೆ. ನಮ್ಮ ಎಲ್ಲ ಸಚಿವರನ್ನ ಎಲ್ಲ ಶಾಸಕರನ್ನ ಕಾಪಾಡುವಂಥದ್ದು ನಮ್ಮ ಜವಾಬ್ದಾರಿ ಇದು. ಹಾಗೆ ಮುಖ್ಯಮಂತ್ರಿಗೂ ಒಂದು ಜವಾಬ್ದಾರಿ ಇರ್ತದೆ. ಒಬ್ಬ ಮಂತ್ರಿ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ನಾನು ಏನೋ ತಪ್ಪಿ ರಾತ್ರಿ ನಿದ್ದೆ ಮಾಡೋವಾಗ ಏನೋ ಜ್ಞಾಪಕ ಇಲ್ದರೆ ಬಂದು ಹೇಳ್ಬಿಟ್ಟವ್ರೆ ಅಂತ, ನಾನು ಅಧ್ಯಕ್ಷರೇ, ಮತ್ತೊಬ್ಬ ಮಂತ್ರಿ 2 ಬಾರಿ ಯತ್ನ ನಡೆದಿದೆ, ನಮ್ಮ ಪಕ್ಷದವರ ಕೈವಾಡ ಇರಬಹುದು. ಸಚಿವರ ಮೇಲೆ 2 ಬಾರಿ ಹನಿ ಟ್ರ್ಯಾಪ್ ಯತ್ನ ನಡೆದಿದೆ, ನಮ್ಮ ಪಕ್ಷದ ಪಾತ್ರವೂ ಇರಬಹುದು. ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ಕಡಿವಾಣ ಹಾಕಬೇಕು ಸತೀಶ್ ಜಾರಕಿಹೊಳಿ, ಲೋಕೋಪಯೋಗಿ ಸಚಿವರು. ನಿಮ್ ಸಚಿವರೇ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ನಾನು ಸುನೀಲ್ ಇವರೆಲ್ಲ ನಾವೆಲ್ಲ ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀರಿ ಅಂತ ಕೋಪ ಮಾಡ್ದು. ಪ್ರಿಯಾಂಕಾ ಅವರು, ದಿನೇಶ್ ಅವರು, ನಾನ್ ತಿಳ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದೆ ಅವರಿಬ್ಬರು ನನ್ನ ಗೌರವ ಇದೆ ಅವರಿಬ್ಬರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ. ಅವರು ಬಿಜೆಪಿ ಅವ್ರನ್ನ ಅಟ್ಯಾಕ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಅಂತ ನಾನು ತಿಳ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದೆ ಇಷ್ಟು ದಿನದಿಂದ. ಬಿಜೆಪಿ ಅವ್ರ ಮೇಲೆ ಅಟ್ಯಾಕ್ ನೋಡಿದ್ರೆ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಪಾರ್ಟಿ ಒಬ್ಬ ನಿಮ್ ಜೊತೆ ಕ್ಯಾಬಿನೆಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕೂತ್ಕೊಂಡು ಅವ್ರ ಸಪೋರ್ಟ್ಗೆ ನೀವು ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲಲ್ಲ.
ಹೋಮ್ ಮಿನಿಸ್ಟರ್ yesterday has stated that they will probe into this matter, but later in the evening Home Minister Parameshwar has said he has not received any information officially. This means the Congress government is trying to cover up the issue. It's the responsibility of the Honorable Chief Minister to take up this matter seriously and order for thorough investigation. So Bharatiya Janata Party as well as JDS, our demand is the state government should hand over this investigation either to the CBI or sitting High Court judge has to investigate this matter.
Rahul Gandhi has reignited the merit versus caste quota debate, criticizing opponents of caste reservation and the caste census. The BJP has responded, accusing him of having a feudal mindset, while Congress has backed what, in fact, their MP has said, the leader of opposition standing firm on the demand for a caste census.
There is a completely flawed concept of merit. The entire narrative is an upper caste narrative. This notion of merit is actually itself an unfair idea. The
Congress MP and leader of opposition in Lok Sabha, Rahul Gandhi, has reignited the merit versus caste quota debate. In an interaction with Professor Sukhdev Thorat, Gandhi emphasized that India's education and bureaucratic entry systems are not equitable for marginalized communities.
There is a completely flawed concept of merit, where I confuse my social position with my capability. Because for anybody to say that our education system or our bureaucratic entry systems are fair to Dalits and OBCs and tribals, I mean, that's just a complete fallacy, because they're culturally not connected to these communities at all. So the entire narrative is an upper caste narrative. This notion of merit is actually itself an unfair idea.
Rahul Gandhi also slammed those opposing the caste census, saying they wanted to keep the truth hidden.
Truth of discrimination in India should be known to everybody. This is a powerful idea. Why are people so much against the caste census? Like, what don't they like about it? What is it that this creates this reaction?
Rahul's comments on merit-based system have triggered a backlash from the BJP. The party has accused the Congress MP of representing nepotistic and feudal mindset.
ओबीसी बंधुओं के अधिकार को मार करके, उसमें सेंधमारी करके, जो ओबीसी को मिलना चाहिए, उसे काट करके कर्नाटक की सिद्धरमैया सरकार ने राहुल गांधी जी के कहने पर मुसलमानों को दिया है।
देखिए, एक चीज मैं देखता हूं कि इनके पास जब मुद्दों की कंगाली होती है तो बिना मुद्दों का मवाली जैसा व्यवहार करते हैं। अब मुद्दों की कंगाली जो है वो इस तरह के बिना मुद्दों के मवाली जैसा अगर व्यवहार करेंगे तो हर दिन ऐसे इश्यूज को लेकर के आने की कोशिश करेंगे जिन इश्यूज के मामले में ये हमेशा फेल रहे हैं।
The Congress meanwhile is firm on its national caste survey demand.
बहुसंख्यक है गरीब, और गरीब कौन है? गरीब है दलित, गरीब है पिछड़ा हुआ, गरीब है आदिवासी, गरीब है मुसलमान। तो जो गरीब वर्ग है और वो बहुसंख्यक वर्ग है, उसकी हिस्सेदारी 0% पर आ रही है। कहीं हिस्सेदारी उसको दिखाई नहीं देती है किसी भी संस्थानों में। इसलिए इनकी जनगणना करा करके इनको इनकी आबादी के अनुपात में इनको हिस्सा मिलना चाहिए, इनकी हिस्सेदारी होनी चाहिए। यही कांग्रेस की मांग है।
ये राहुल जी का भी स्टैंड है, कांग्रेस का भी स्टैंड है, और देश के भले के लिए। पता तो लगे कौन कितना है, किसके साथ कौन किस स्थिति में है। तो जाति जनगणना की जो मांग उठ रही है, भारतीय जनता पार्टी को उसे जाति आधारित जनगणना करानी चाहिए।
Merit or caste reservation, the debate rages on. Bureau Report, India Today.
Let's get you an update coming in from Sambhal. A new police post will now be set up outside the Sambhal mosque, outside the Sambhal Jama Masjid, the same area where riots broke out months ago. But Vedic mantras will also be chanted outside Jama Masjid in Sambhal. Now, these Vedic mantras will be chanted in front of Jama Masjid, and this is even as there will be a high-tech police post that will be built in front of the Jama Masjid in Sambhal. It will come up on Ram Navami, which is on April 6th.